Shalom from Karen Biavna. Chazal tell us, Asara nisyonos nisnasa Abraham Avinu v'amad b'kulan. There is a machlokes in the Mefarshim how to count the nisyonos, particularly with respect to the last 10th nisayon. Many understand that it was the Akedah, certainly a very difficult one. However, those that understand that the last nisayon was a nisayon related to the burial of Sarah. After HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised Avraham Avinu the land of Israel, and now when he wants a plot in which to bury his wife, he needs to start negotiations with the Bnei Ches. Avraham Avinu might have complained, said, hey, this isn't fair, but nevertheless, Amad B'Kulan. One might assume that if this was the last Nisayon, the burial of Sarah, there was some particular difficulty that existed with this Nisayon that was not there with the previous ones. What difficulty was there about this Nisayon which didn't exist with the earlier ones? So one possibility we might suggest is that there are individuals that are able to handle saros, able to handle difficulty in their lives, but only when they come one at a time. But when they come all bunched together, that's too much. Here Avraham Avinu was after the Akedah, which was presumably somewhat of a traumatic experience, and then Sarah Imenu dies, and now he's very pressed to find a burial place for his wife. That's pretty difficult to handle. That was a difficult Nisayon. One could also, though, suggest, alternatively, that the difficulty of this Nisayon was the fact that, till now, although Avram Ha'ivri, Avram was on one side and everybody else in the world on the other side, but till now he had Sarah Imenu at his side. Till now he had a Chaver Tov with whom to share his experiences. Even in the Nisayon of the Akedah, if we assume that he didn't tell Sarah Imenu in advance, but he knew that he'd be able to share the experience when he came back. Over here, though, he was at it on his own. That's a very difficult Nisayon, to be able to handle things without a Chaver Tov. So here the great importance of a person being and finding a Chaver Tov. They tell the story of a certain fellow that had a wedding invitation placed in his mailbox, and looked at the names. Chassan doesn't ring a bell. The Kala, not family that he's aware of. So he figured it must be a mistake. But then, a bit later, the Chassan calls him up and asks him, are you coming to my wedding? Who are you? So he says, oh, you might not remember me, but I certainly remember you. When I was a Talmud in Yeshiva, I was having a very hard time. And I was thinking of calling it quits and just leaving Yeshiva. But then, you shared with me a kind words, you gave me a pat on the back, and that gave me a very good feeling. And that's what kept me in the world of Torah. So we should all be zochet to find a Chaver Tov, and even more importantly, to be a Chaver Tov to our family, to our friends, and all that we come in contact with. Have a wonderful Shabbos.